Hello guys, it's good to be back again. Please like, subscribe and share. Thank you for all those who have been engaging me and interacting with me. I really appreciate. And without further ado, let's start. So today I'll be looking at the new report by the IMF that Germany and Italy are poised to enter into recession next year, 2023. But this is not a very shocking news because with the Ukraine war, the Russia-Ukraine war that has been happening, Europe has been going through a heavy recession, not just Europe, but the rest of the world. Remember, we're just from a COVID situation that production, investments, all these activities that increase commerce went down. And then just when you're about to recover, come back, the world is coming back alive. And then we have the Russia-Ukraine war that has affected the energy sector. And as we know, if the energy sector is affected, commodities prices go up and inflation raises. So Germany and Italy has been experiencing inflation. Let's not forget Germany was very, very dependent on Russian oil and gas. In fact, I believe one of the reasons why the German industries were very competitive internationally is because they used to get very, very cheap and subsidized oil and gas from Russia. And that's why you find that since 1950, when Germany started accepting the first batch of Russian oil and gas, till today, it has been hard to remove that strangle because Russian oil is very cheap and very addictive. And that's what the European Union has been fighting. Remember, uh, von der Leyen has been saying that, the carrot, the sweet carrot is that Russian oil is very cheap. And so most countries are attracted to it. And in turn, you give up your sovereignty because like Germany, it was under the control of Russia. Italy was also the same. The industries were heavily dependent on Russian oil and gas. But Italy is a different scenario because remember, Italy was heavily affected during the financial crisis of the 2007, 2008. And so the economy went down and they've been trying to come back. In fact, Italy is heavily indebted to the European Central Bank. And so it needed an alternative source of energy, an alternative cheaper source of energy to maintain its competitiveness in terms of production with other countries. And because of the high inflation when brought out by the COVID situation, the Russia-Ukraine war, and also the interest rate in America has also affected Italy because when the interest rate in America were brought up by the Federal Reserve, it ensured that the dollar started becoming very strong. In fact, now as we speak today, the dollar is the same strength as the euro, if not above the euro. And this was brought a very negative impact on the euro. The euro became less competitive, inflation in Europe started rising, and the European Central Bank was also forced to increase the interest rate. And this also affected now most countries in Europe, especially a country like Italy that has debt, that suffers from debt. The interest rate went up. So Italy is finding itself in a tricky position. That's why they've elected Meloni, the next prime minister, because she speaks the same tone as Donald Trump, or the tone of nationalism, of looking inwards, of not depending on large bodies like the European Union, because she sees the European Union as meddling in the internal affairs of Italy. She speaks of letting Italians take control of the economy to make decision if they want oil from or gas from Russia, rather than the European Union making the decision, because she argues that only Italians will make the best decision for the economy. And this is why she has won, because she has brought that nationalistic talk of looking inwards, because most Italians are not happy with how the economy is doing. And you go to the other side of Germany, you realize that Germany was heavily dependent on Russian energy and oil. And as we knew that Germany would be the most affected country in case, there was a shutdown on Russian oil and gas, and Germany has been the country, one of the countries that has been going slow on fully sanctioning Russia energy sector. It has been blamed by other countries of not fully supporting Ukraine in the Ukrainian war. Germany has been walking a very tight rope. Let's not forget Germany is the most powerful economy in Europe. And since then, thus this means it has a lot of say when it comes to the European Union. And it has been going very slow because it realizes if it followed the same suit as other countries, it will suffer the most. And we are starting to see, because most German companies have started filing for bankruptcy, insolvency. uh, Electricity bills are going up. I was reading a report of someone used to pay yearly an electricity bill of about 3,000 euro, but now it was 3,000 euro, but now you're seeing the electricity bill has shot up into the tens of thousands of euro. Uh, Germans have been advised to, to use to try and save electricity. Municipal cities are not lighting up street lights; they are maintaining, because uh, they they are saving much energy for winter. Winter is about to come in a few weeks, to start in a few weeks. They need the energy, and as you go forward, Germany will no longer become an industrial country anymore. It will become a service industry. It will follow the path of America. Most German companies are outsourcing places to manufacture their products. Countries like Czechoslovakia, Poland, Estonia, all these countries are now becoming very lucrative for Germans to go and manufacture. Germany has started becoming very, very expensive to do business in. And going forward, we are seeing probably the deindustrialization of Germany. Remember, the only reason that Germany industries are very powerful because they used to get very cheap oil and gas from Russia at a very affordable affordable rate, less competitive than the international market. And this has ensured that Germany becomes a very productive country. But going forward, Germany probably will turn into like America. It will deindustrialize and become a service industry. And most of its industries will be taken all over Europe into countries that are less expensive and countries that are easy to do business with. Going forward, Germany is expected to bear the biggest brunt of this energy crisis. Its economy will contract, and this has left, you know, the German leadership in a limbo. They've been trying to organize energy all over the world, from Qatar, Senegal, Nigeria, Algeria, also Norway. But it seems that it will take a long time to compensate the Russian energy, because uh, first of all, the Russian energy used to arrive on pipes. And pipes meant that if it was gas, it was gas all through. But now, since they are contracting from Qatar and like half a, half across the world, it means that most of this gas will come in LNG and then has to be converted, which is a very long process and a very expensive process. Then this is what's making the energy that Germany is receiving not to be as cost effective or cheap as a Russian energy. And also, this has not gone well with the the destruction of the Nord Stream pipeline that was destroyed. And still the investigation are going. No one knows who did it, but I feel that the parties that were involved their aim was to ensure that Germany, uh, enters into an energy crisis. Probably there were talks that the destruction of the pipeline was to ensure that Germany does not rely uh, on Russia again in terms of energy, because there were talks in the German population of they were trying to push the German government to try and renegotiate with Russia, at least so that the oil and gas can flow and they can maintain the economy. And probably this push was seen that as if it was going to be successful, and thus the parties involved destroyed the pipeline to ensure that the Germany do not fall back to the Russian. They only think ahead. They only think of solutions. They only think of a way to get out of this without depending on the Russians. And if Germany economy goes into recession, I'm assuming most European countries will go into recession. This will also affect most world countries, most countries in the world. America is also suffering inflation and risk of recession. So we are seeing a stagflation on the world economies because of the oil crisis, there's food crisis. Remember, Europe had one of the biggest droughts in decades. It's coming out of a drought. So with all this, it looks like the next few years are not going to be hard only for Germany and Italy, but for all of us. And we just hope that everything will work out and see how it goes. Uh, and I hope the war will every all the participating parties will come to an agreement and ensure that this war comes to an end, and let's promote peace. Anyway, guys, it's always good to interact with you. Thank guys. Cheers.